First take, the Eagles got back on track with a much-needed third blowout against the Raiders on Sunday. Jalen Hurts rebounded from his 4-interception game a week ago, throwing for 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. The win snapped a 3-game losing streak and was Philly's first shutout in 7 years. Yesterday, Jalen Hurts spoke on his team's offensive performance.
Right now, you win games based off of identity. And the thing for us is we've gotten to this point and we've been able to get to this point and be playing for the, games, be playing in big-time games, not really establishing an identity. And so I think it is healthy to have won games in a lot of ways, and I think it's encouraging to be able to build off of something positive.
Okay, Peter, let's dive a little bit further into what we just heard from Jalen Hurts. They had lost 3 in a row, then they have a dominating win against the Raiders. Are you convinced now their offensive issues are done?
I think it was important to have an effort like that. I think it was actually very significant to perform that way, given the week that was in Philly leading up to it. If you recall, Mad Dog, it was, should we see Tanner McKee? It was, can we possibly beat them when they've got Max Crosby and we have no Lane Johnson or Landon Dickerson? It was, how do we stop Brock Bowers? And what they did was, everyone in Philly woke up, snowstorm, dug themselves out, went to their only 1 o'clock game in all last 2 months. And the first play from scrimmage, Saquon went for 1 yard, and everybody was hissing. Okay, here we go again. And they proceeded to just absolutely dominate the rest of the way. They win 31-0. I don't care if the Raiders are not the 76 Steelers or the 85 Bears. They got everybody off their backs for at least a moment. Now, offensive identity, they ran the ball 47 times. They actually showed that they can do this if they have to, and they showed that, hey, we could run it down a team's throats. Do I think they fixed everything? No, I don't. But when you've got 2 games against the Commanders with no Jaden Daniels, still to kind of work out some of the kinks left on the schedule, this is about as easy and as fortunate a situation a defending champion has had in the final month of the season.
I can't read a thing into it there, Peter, myself. I mean, the Raiders are horrendous. They had 75 yards of offense, 46 yards. They ran the ball. They stink. They're awful. I don't know what the story is about Pete Carroll. He may not last. Who knows? I cannot. And Hurts was so bad on Monday night against the Chargers. He was terrible in that game. So anything is going to be a little better. But I can't read a thing. 31-0. Okay, they beat the Raiders. They win the division. They're going to be the 3 seed. Dallas is out. They're going to be the 3 seed.
What if it was the other way, though?
Well, I wasn't. I mean, if the Raiders won, then we really have a major collapse on our hands. Then we beat the program with it, from that standpoint. Boy, the Eagles are dead. But I can't read. And I'll say the same thing this weekend against Washington. Commanders will be competitive, sure. But I'll say the same thing. Let them go win in Buffalo in 2 weeks. Bills will need the game. Let them go win the game up in the snow in Orchard Park before I believe that the Eagles are back on the right track.
Felt like a get-right game. Go ahead, Stephen A.
I completely agree with Doggy. I'm of the mindset I don't want to hear anything about the Eagles and overcoming their doldrums and their offensive woes until they go up against Buffalo. Am I supposed to sit up there and be concerned about them against the Commanders coming up and Marcus Mariota or whomever the hell is quarterbacking for them? Am I supposed to be concerned about that? I mean, Jaden Daniels is sitting down for the season. He's out for the rest of the year. We ain't thinking about Washington right now. Come on now, let's stop that nonsense. And the Raiders, awful. Just awful. I mean, it's so bad. You know what? They talk about, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You got people in the football world offended because we know what the hell is happening outside of Vegas to the Las Vegas Raiders. We don't want to know about them. They're letting us in on how awful they are. Pete Carroll's not going to survive. He's not the right coach. He's the oldest coach in the National Football League. He's approaching 75 years of age, and there does come a time, we're not engaging in ageism here, but there does come a time when your time is up. And I think with Pete Carroll, that definitely is the case. And we can't take anything seriously about the Las Vegas Raiders at this particular juncture. The Philadelphia Eagles turned over the ball a league high 9 times over the previous 3 games during their 3-game skid. We all know that they didn't turn the ball over the other night, okay? They had like 27 first downs. They ran the football efficiently when they hadn't been doing that at all. We know what time it is. They were going up against a team. They basically had a bye week. The only difference between a bye week and playing the Raiders is that actual tackling is involved. That's the only reason. Other than that, it's a bye week going up against them because that's how awful they are, okay? So we'll find out, and we don't expect much against the Commanders either because of how debilitated they are, even though they'll probably be highly more competitive than the Raiders. The real test is going to be against Buffalo. who's still trying to position themselves potentially for a division crown and definitely is trying to work their way into the playoff picture, obviously. And they're going to treat the game with the importance that it deserves. How the Eagles fare against them is going to tell us a lot more than anything we're talking about at this particular moment in time in the immediate aftermath of a win against the useless Raiders.
I actually would argue that the Commanders would be a good litmus test. Like, their 3 losses were to 3 good teams, right? In the Chargers, Bears, and the Cowboys, and obviously the second half wasn't good. But the Raiders, I mean, come on.
I get it.
Come on.
I get it. I also have been in these chairs where they lost to the Cardinals 2 years ago at home in a similar game when they were 12-point favorites, and we came out and said, the world is melting, and we let off the A block with it, and the NBA Cup took a back seat to what's wrong with the Eagles.
Good comparison.
It's fair, and I'd say this. For at least a few days, they can breathe. Because the last month there has been a pressure cooker. And that WIP local radio station, they were talking about sarcastically giving the offense a standing ovation no matter what because they needed the positivity. They can't, there's no sayings to that anymore. And I don't even know if they do need to win that Buffalo game or even play well in that Buffalo game. To me, the playoffs are all that matter. You're defending champs. Buffalo's playing for everything. Eagles, looks like the NFC East is theirs.
Well, the Eagles are going to be playing that second road game on the road. They're going to be the 3 seed in the NFC.
And also, there was like 30 plays that the Eagles ran with Jalen Hurts under center. That's the most they did against anybody this season. So what does that tell you? What that tells you is that they used the Raiders as an experimentation. You understand? That's what they did. Now, let's experiment here. Let's try this. Let's try. If it'll work against, if it'll work against anybody, it'll work against them. So that'll tell us something. Let's practice here. They used it as a practice game, okay? That's what they did, and that's what they should have done. So props to them for being able to do that, but there are stiffer tests that await down the road.
The Eagles allowed 75 yards of offense. Someone brought that up already in this game. It was their fewest yards allowed since 1955. Add that to the almanac.
Wow, how about that?
In the brain. Could channel that in a few more years. All right,
Chef's kiss. That'll be our next.
Oh my gosh!
Let's go!
Not another one.
I see you, Peter. Next feature. Well done, Traeger.
Can you hit the nay though before we
Is this the formula? This is the formula. This is why y'all all hated on me up here for the first 10 weeks of the season. Everybody has a formula to win. This is the Eagles' formula. You have a very good defense that's going to keep you in a lot of football games. You have the ability to have a low-risk, high-reward offense. Now, everybody talks about we got to do it a different way. When they tried to do it a different way, turnovers increased, losses became the facts. This is the way they need to go on and win. If they have to get into a shootout, they're fully capable. Let's not make every game be a shootout where we lose games like to the Chargers on the road. That's you can't do it. Let me get Traeger and Kimberly in here. Some will wonder, look, there's 2 ways of looking at the game the other day. One of them is it's the Raiders, so don't pay any attention to it. The other is maybe they figured something out.
I am the latter, and it's not only figure something out, it shut up the noise for at least a minute. I am as to blame as anybody coming on this network last week and telling you, without Lane Johnson, without Landon Dickerson, with Max Crosby on the other end, and hey, Kenny Pickett knows the defense, I thought the Raiders might give them fits. And if they had given up an early first down or an early touchdown, the Boo Birds would be out. They didn't deal with any of that because on that first drive, they went 16 plays, they ate 7 minutes of clock, and they scored a touchdown, and it was the onslaught from there. I thought last week one was huge just to quiet the noise for at least 7 more days because we're not doing this in the A block right now.
Right.
We would have been had they lost to the Raiders.
That's fair. And the schedule is so favorable the rest of the way, they maybe go in with a head of steam.
Yeah, with the Raiders, Denver beat the Raiders by only 3 points. Jacksonville, we talked about Jacksonville, they needed OT to beat them. So I don't want to do but it's the Raiders. I think Jeff made a good point earlier about Chicago. They know their identity, and they continuously stick with it. And I think that has been the frustrating thing to watch with these Eagles, where, I don't know, you made the point a few weeks ago, like they've been listening to talking heads on TV and and A.J. Brown, like wanting to be more a part of it. You're using me, but you're not using me.
Right.
Well, they were using him, and they kind of got derailed. And I think